Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining once again on BIA Center for Business English. Today, we have a very special guest with us. She is someone whom I had the good fortune to work with. She is a wonderful colleague, a wonderful or a fantastic boss to work with, and she was my line manager when I worked at Guru. And she helped me a lot when I was there, and she helped me a lot even after I moved out of that organization. Because whenever I had some questions, one of the first few messages would go to her, and I always got a response that always helped me. So, a wonderful colleague, a fantastic boss, and an amazing friend too. She helps people immensely. At one point, she took a brief career break, and when she wanted to get back to work, she just posted on LinkedIn stating that I'm looking forward to starting to work again. And she just posted this, and immediately all the teachers who worked with her commented stating that hire this person and you will not regret any time, and they gave a great list of points of why she is an amazing person for any organization, an asset for any organization, I'd say. So, well, while I talk so much about her as a trainer and a mentor and a guide and so on and a boss, I would also like to say that she started as a teacher at one of the international schools at Noida, and she also worked as principal of an army pre-primary school. And later, she worked with other organizations like Nguru, and currently, she is the vice president of training at Wisely. So it's wonderful to see a person who grow from the level of a teacher to a vice president, and it's a great privilege and a blessing and an honor to have you with us here today. Thank you so much for joining us, Rashmi Salhotra. It was always
You.
wonderful to listen to you, and today I'm eager to hear more from you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful welcome and introduction. I think I haven't heard such good things about me for a long time, so you kind of made my day. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, to start with, Rashmi, I'd like to ask you, what do you like the most about being a trainer?
Uh, I think I should start off with what I like about being a teacher. I
Okay.
think that's where the roots are.
Uh-huh.
So I always tell people whom I meet that I became a teacher by chance, but a trainer by choice.
Okay.
So teaching was never a profession or a line of work that I had ever thought of. But being an army officer's wife, I think that was what was the easiest way for me to keep myself busy. That's
Okay.
what I had looked at it. But when I got into teaching and started my career with, the pre-primary students, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, I think their innocence and their inquisitiveness kind of caught on to me. And that's where my learning journey began, uh, into exploring what a teacher can do and can give back into this world. So the journey began as early as 1999. I think that's when I started my teaching profession. And over time, I learned more than I think I taught. And this has kind of molded me into being a trainer of today. And uh, in some ways, I have learned that you can only become a good teacher if you are a good learner. And
Really.
that has helped me grow into being a trainer. A trainer is nothing, is no one but person who is going to help you in upskilling yourself. You are there somewhere doing things right, but how can you do it better is what I help people with. And I think this has been the best part of it, learning more than teaching or training. And
Nice.
I forever want to be that learner. And in any which way, I can give it back to people around me who need some kind of advice or direction into doing what they do already. I think that's what uh, I enjoy most.
Wonderful. So you mentioned one beautiful thing about you're doing something right. How can you do it better? And that is where I come in to help you. So this is what trainers do to help people to do things better in a different way, get a better result, and so on. But sometimes when we go with certain clients, we have these expectations. We want them to do better, but we want them to transform completely. Like we, uh, uh, so is transformation possible through training? And to what extent is it possible?
So, transformation is possible, but you need to be realistic.
Hmm.
Setting goals right is very important when you go on a learning journey. And this is something that you do along with your teacher or trainer or coach, mentor, whoever you are associated with. I think being able to have that clear goal of what I wish to achieve from this journey, this program, this course, kind of sets you on that path of getting better at what you're already doing right. If you're not very clear, then you will never understand transformation. I think what I learned in this journey of training and teaching is the myth of being the best. I think that is something that never existed, will never exist. It is a definition that we give ourselves based on what we think or the society thinks. All we can do is get better than ourselves each day. That's all that we can aim to achieve. And if you're able to do that, you will see transformation. If you don't set that goal of being better every day, I think you will never see transformation.
Beautiful. Uh, and I would also like to ask you, is there anything that you don't like about being a trainer?
Uh, I think a lot of people are going to not like my answer, but online teaching.
Okay.
So it is a very good way of teaching, training, if it's a one-on-one. I think you're able to have that connect. Um, Communication is nothing but trying to connect with people. Okay, if
Yes,
you're able to
absolutely.
connect, you are able to communicate. Now, that connection is not that strong or is not built over an online platform. So if you are a communication skills trainer or a coach, uh, establishing that connect with a group of people in boxes, sometimes black boxes because they don't switch their videos on, never happens. So what you're trying to teach them essentially does not get taught. So this is the one thing that I've learned over time, that it might happen for people who are very, very enthusiastic, are very serious about learning. But
Mm.
if you aren't, then this platform isn't a place where I can bring about that change.
Got you.
So, that's what I would say.
Apart from this, is there like any other, what is the biggest challenge that you have faced as a trainer, and how did you overcome this?
So, biggest challenge is putting a timeline
Mm.
to learning and saying that within, uh, or let me say, unrealistic timelines. I think a lot of companies, clients, people, um, who come for these training programs have an unrealistic expectation that um, you are a magician, you know the tricks of how you can get me to being a great speaker, orator, communicator in a short span of time. So that is something that is something that I find challenging to make people understand that it in that way, and it's always a give and take. So there is effort, there is practice, and there is a time involved in seeing that change, I think. So that it has been a challenge.
Oh, and when you mention there is time, one of the common questions that I often get is, how long would I take to speak like an orator or like a good communicator or confidently, all these things? Is there an answer to that question?
Um, I I do give an answer to people because they want an answer. They want an end destination.
Destination.
They want to see that uh, somewhere in the distant future. So I do give them a timeline. Uh, but I also tell them that there are lots of factors involved to achieve that. If you are able to put in all those things that are required to achieve in this duration, you will certainly see that happen in the time frame that I've given. But if at any point of time, any of the things that are required, whether it is your practice, whether it is the sessions involved, whether it is um, uh, timings, uh, if any of these things you're not able to put in uh, for whatever reasons, that goal or that destination is going to move further.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that.
Okay. Uh, I also wanted to know, let's take a trainer, for example, once he or she uh, goes for a certification, gets a few years of experience, for example, 10 years. After
Mhm.
they work for 10 years as a trainer, they have enough exposure, they have done a couple of things. Now, what can they do to get better at their work?
So, one thing that has happened over the years, which I really like, is the fact that learning is democratized. Okay. You are not bound by people, place, or platform to learn. If you are a seeker, if you are willing to learn, you will find it anywhere. And you need to keep growing as a trainer. Certifications are one thing, all right? That is kind of a stamp that tells you, all right, you have, you know, you know this technique, or you know this process, or you are capable of doing something. But unless you practice it, unless you find ways of getting better at it, um, you will be stagnant. You will be at the same place. So get certifications. I think that is one step in the right direction. But see how you can learn. What are the different ways that you can learn? And of course, having mentors is or guides is a very essential bit of growing as a trainer, growing in any field, I think. Having the right mentors is essential.
Uh, I, uh, I really wish to know what you do in particular for your professional development.
So one thing that I have started, which I had stopped in between, was getting back to reading. Um, and reading the right books, uh, reading things related to your profession, reading things related to what you do as a trainer. I think that is one important thing. I can't emphasize enough on how reading can change your perspective. How mm I think there are different ways of assimilating or getting information,
Mm,
um, or getting to know about things. There's so many people, so many learned people telling different things everywhere around the world. How are you able to get that information, and how are you able to process that and use that to your advantage? It takes a lot of time. You need to plan, you need to give that time, that the so-called me time that you give to yourself. I think that is essential. And that is something that I have done, given time to myself to be able to get information, uh, get to read, get to process it, get to use it with my students. So it's not just learning, it's also how I'm able to use that. So that is something that I have done. And of course, I have wonderful people as guides. Again, that is a non-negotiable. Having people smarter than you, uh, uh, more intelligent than you, have seen the world more than you, experienced things. I think they are the best people to talk to. So taking out time, meeting these people, talking to them, learning how the world is growing in the field that you are in, I think that is another very important factor for me.
well, thank you so much for the detailed answer about how you work on your continuous professional development. So one more question that I wanted to ask was, I have had this many times, and many people have also asked me this question: is training a lucrative profession?
Hmm.
And if we want to make it lucrative, what can we do? Right.
Um, okay. It's a step-by-step process. If you look at it as a profession, mm, okay, let me answer this a little differently.
Mhm.
Uh, I know we all are here to uh, make a career out of it, make money out of it.
Yes.
But on the other hand, it is a selfless act of giving back to the world, uh, because the world needs it at this point in time. Being teachers and trainers is not easy. There are times when you have to choose uh, to give more than you receive. But once you do it, the thing that you get back from it is a lot of learning, a lot of growth. Okay. And somewhere this growth will in turn bring in uh, the money, the recognition, and the transformation that you're looking for. Okay. So it's an investment. If you're looking for instant gratification or instant highs, it may not be there, but it is a very fulfilling and uh, thankfully, for me, it has been a very humbling experience. So, what it has taught me is you be grounded, you be present, you be humble, and be ready to give more than you receive. You will always receive more than you all ever expected. So, professionally, if you're looking at it as a career, it has got its merits. It is a place to be now more than ever because people are still trying to find their niche, trying to find their ground in the AI world. And some people are finding it very difficult to not be able to find their uh, voice. So we can be a support, we can be a guide, we can be that teacher for them to help them find their voice. So if you're looking at it as a career, as a profession, it is a place to be, but it is a slow game. It cannot be a fast winner.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I also wanted to, as you mentioned about AI-driven world. So how should trainers use this? Most of the trainers, as far as you know, are actually afraid of it. So how should we embrace it?
So embrace it as a tool that is going to help you get better as a trainer. If you look at it as something that is going to take away something from you, take away your skill from you, I don't think that is ever going to happen. It is a good aid. It has helped me get better as a trainer. It has made my work effortless. It has saved time. I think that is the best part of AI. It has given me more time to invest again in myself. So, what I would spend time, say, about an hour, a couple of hours in research, I think it has brought that time by a third or one fourth. And that has given me time to explore more, learn more, get better mm,
So,
faster.
what are the AI tools that you use and for what purposes?
Okay, so of course, I use GPT-4.
Hmm.
I think that is um, something that all of us have gotten used to. Um, I use Claude.
Okay.
I use Perplexity mm, for research. I use Napkin AI to create visuals,
Okay.
visual images of data. I use what else? I think these are my four go-tos as of now. I've also started using video for creating short form content. Mm, and yeah, there's so many to explore. I'm exploring HeyGen currently. I am also exploring, I think I've written it down, Notebook LLM. I think that is
Mhm.
a wonderful tool that has come in for
Okay.
to create podcasts
Hmm.
on
Okay.
topics that you wish to speak on. Notebook LLM is one. Um, yeah, I think this is something that I am exploring, and I get to know about a lot of tools because of the people that I speak to, I'm surrounded by. I think you need to be aware, you need to know what is happening in the AI world because
Hmm.
it's just making your work better, faster, and quicker.
Wonderful. I did not know about most of the names that you mentioned other than ChatGPT. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I understand that it's important to be in touch with the community of trainers and the people in the industry to know about these things. Well, you mentioned about videos. We have been watching your videos, which you started posting a few months ago on LinkedIn. How did that start? What was the purpose behind it?
So the idea was let me be honest. I use LinkedIn as my testing ground.
Hmm.
I have never put up videos of myself talking about any talking about topics that I love um, anywhere. I'm I'm too shy. I am scared. I think if all of us are, doing something for the first time.
Yes.
Uh, I found LinkedIn to be a safe space where I could talk about topics that are interesting for me. And I think people around me also should know, especially the LinkedIn community that I have. So it started off as a testing place where I want uh, to put my voice out there and talk on topics that are not boring, that are interesting, on communication, something that I know and I feel everyone in my community needs to know. So that's where it all began. And I want to continue it, but I don't think I am that consistent. There are phases that I get
Your
onto
fans are waiting
LinkedIn.
for your videos. So the teachers, the learners, everyone. So yeah, we are looking forward to it.
Thank you. I think I should get back to it again.
Yeah.
But yes, I tested videos. I tested written material. I think videos have a better um, pull, and they have got a stick-on factor rather than written content. I think people watch more than read. So I want to get back to that.
Well, today and whenever I have spoken to you, you have always shared very useful content, something with deeper meaning, something very clear, and you never speak too fast. But sometimes people have this perception that we have to speak fast and we should not use any fillers, only then we are good communicators. So, this interview is a clear example of breaking that myth. Like you can be a fantastic communicator even if you occasionally use fillers, even if you are not speaking too fast, and so on. So I would like your perspective on that. What would you like to tell people or the students, in particular, who think that they will have to speak fast?
So again, something that I have learned over time, that your audience is your hero. Okay, you're not talking to be heard, you're talking or speaking to be understood. And your audience needs to understand what you're trying to say, what you're trying to inform them or let them know. So always keep them in mind. Uh, See what resonates with them. Be very, very aware of who they are, what they want from you, and why they want that from you. So if you're able to understand that aspect of your communication, I think you will gauge what you want to say and how you want to say it. And that it has been a big learning for me, that when I go to speak in front of a crowd or in a meeting room, I always keep them as the center. That what is it that they will take back once they leave the room, and how is it going to impact them? So once I've gotten that aspect clear, I think the rest of it just happens naturally. Of course, you need to be conscious, you need to be aware, you need to practice enough. You just can't go into a room and start blabbering. You have to plan what you want to say and how you want to say it, keeping them in mind.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that detailed, and I hope this answer is convincing for the students also to understand that what is more important and what is not so important. Because when we admire some people, they tend to speak fast. They happen to be people who speak fast, but then it's not necessary that we have to always do that. Well, it has been a wonderful day, and thank you so much for all your beautiful and clear and detailed answers for all the important questions and things that bothered me, some of them. So thank you so much for answering all these questions. I hope it helps many other trainers and also our students. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.